The boat behind me is a Galeon 335 HTS. Now Galeon always make an interesting boat, so I thought this one would be a good one to have a look at. It's out the water, as you can see, so that's a great chance as well to have a look underneath at some of the engineering. For example, you might have heard me talk about bow thrusters. Well, this is a bow thruster in here. What that is a propeller. That means that when you're docking the boat, you can actually push the whole bow of the boat sideways into the docks. That's a very useful thing to have. And this one is on stern drives. And what I mean by stern drives is you've got these are the stern drives just here. The engines are at the back of the boat. The drive comes out and goes down through these, and these swivel to steer the boat. They also tilt to trim it. And this one has duo props. So you've got two props on each one, and these counter rotate, so they go in opposite directions like that, and that helps to reduce cavitation and prop walk and that kind of thing. They cancel each other out. These incidentally are trim tabs. What these allow you to do, by pushing one of those down, it would actually tilt the boat that way. Push them both down, it'll push the bow down, and it allows you just to alter the trim of the boat. So if it's leaning to one side a bit, you can trim it up straight. So that's what they're for, a little bit like ailerons on an airplane. Anyway, let's go and have a look on board, because that's always the interesting bit. And the first thing we find is this big bathing platform on the back. Now that's the kind of thing you can pull a lightweight dinghy up onto if you want to have a tender on this boat. You've got a ladder underneath here as well for swimming, so that drops into the water. And this over here is the shower. You can pull that out of there. When you come out from swimming, you can have a hot water shower. And that's controlled by that little fella there. Okay, we're going to look on the outside of the boat first, and then we'll come onto the inside and look at the cockpit and the cabins and so on. So we'll head up here. Some nice rails on here. This one starts as soon as you get onto the side deck and then takes you all the way forward. Now this one's got the solid sliding roof, which is a nice feature, and what I do like is this metallic paint finish they put on this dark grey metallic. It looks really nice. But we'll head on a bit further forward. Big wipers on here as well, and you've got sunbeds on the front of the boat, on the foredeck. That's a hatch out from the forward cabin, so a bit of ventilation or another route out of the boat. And then down here, anchor winch and anchor chain stow. And the anchor, of course, as you can see, is on the front just there. Okay, let's go and have a look on the inside. Again, this rail, very helpful as you walk along the boat, and then that drops you down to the bathing platform and in. So what we've got here is this great sunbathing area on the back, and in fact there's also storage underneath this. If we lift this one up, there we go, you can see you've got canopies and that sort of thing in there, so that's pretty handy, because this then all encloses this back end. So if you want this whole area to be enclosed, you can certainly do that. And then there's more seating on this side, and my jacket, which I've rather inelegantly dumped there. Never mind. Now on this side of the boat there's this dinette area, and in fact what you can do with this is move these cushions out of the way, and then this backrest will drop back like that, and that gives you obviously seating right around that table. And that's catered for by this wet bar, so the barbecue is underneath here, and your sink, and its storage underneath, like so. Some quite funky lighting underneath here as well. You can see that. There we go. And ahead of that, well, then you've got your helm position and this nice lounging area next to it. Now this sliding roof is a nice simple mechanism because it's a manual slide. There's a little lock device here, and all you do, if you do this with two hands and the GoPro at the same time, is pull that, and then you can slide it back to wherever you want. So if we pull it right open, there we go, that's all the way back, and then that gives you that nice aperture there above the helm and above this lounging area, which is excellent. The helm itself, that's over on this side. She's a twin engine boat, so you've got the two throttle controls separate to each other. These are controls for the trim tabs that I was mentioning, so you can put the bow down or the bow up, or just use one to tilt the boat, and then these trim the actual outdrives, which we also discussed. It's a stand sit seat, so it's seating at the moment, but you can lift that and you've got room to stand at the helm if you prefer. Stereo is underneath this one. It's a Fusion stereo system, and then this is navigation underneath here, so your chart plotter and other instrumentation there and there. and then your engine instrumentation is across here. Big windscreen on this one. I like these big wipers they put on here as well. Those are very good. Anyway, let's go and take a look inside. Shoes off, and we'll head on in. Now what you find, and this is pretty typical of Galeons generally, is they do put a lot of glass into these boats. So overhead you've got these big skylights above us. There's blinds that come across here, so if you don't want the sun beating through, you don't have to have it. But also in the hull sides, you can see these are big hull windows along here and on the other side as well, across there, and another skylight, so you get loads of light into here. Let's just close that door over for a moment. And also this excellent pale grey wood, that was very contemporary. On this side you've got seating, so if you want to tuck yourself away of an evening, you can come down here and do that. And this table you can expand if you wish. If you want a bit more space for dining, that lifts up like that. And opposite that is a galley, which is compact but pretty comprehensive, because you've got your 2-burner just there. This is storage all the way around here in places like this. There's a decent fridge in here. This, as I'm sure you can imagine, is the sink. But there's also a bin behind it. And then even areas like this, they've used for your cutlery. So that works well. And again, more storage up here. And also quite nice is they fitted an opening window section, so you can get a bit of ventilation in here if you wish. Ahead of this then is the forward cabin. Decent sized double bed in here. Again, you've got storage in here, so that's a hanging locker. And in places like that, you've got those nice hull windows again on both sides, and that's that hatch that we saw up on the foredeck, so that is another way out of the accommodation, or obviously just a bit of ventilation. And some quite funky lighting in here as well, as you can see, running across. It's a lovely sized bed. It's a pretty decent cabin, that one. But it's arguable as to whether that one is the master cabin or the aft cabin is, because this is a pretty good size too. For a 33-foot boat, this is excellent. So what do we have here? We've got full standing headroom. What's quite clever is that lounging area next to the helm. Well, that's what's giving you this headroom across here. So as you walk into this cabin, and I'm 6'2", you've got really good headroom all the way in. So you've got room to get changed, you've got somewhere to sit in here, again more storage with these drawers, and then the bed is down underneath here. So that's under the cockpit floor, so it's using this space twice, a really good compromise on a boat of this size. And again you can see there's a hull window back in the corner over there. And there's actually a massive wardrobe in here as well. So plenty of room for all your clobber. And then more storage up in places like this. So that's a pretty decent cabin. There's 2 pretty decent cabins on this boat. And that saloon area, which on a 33-foot boat, I think is pretty good. Now, the only thing we haven't seen is the loo. So we're going to have a look at this, the heads. There we go. And again, this is a pretty decent size. Separate area for the shower. So you can, when you're in there having a shower, close that off. And it means you've got an area to come out and get dried in that isn't wet from the shower. Sink in here, of course, and again lots of storage under the sink and up in behind places like this. They really do utilise every area in these boats. Cool. I think all that's left then is engines. Let's go and see if we can find those. Pop the old shoes back on. Didn't mention as I came past it, in fact, because I didn't notice it, there's a cockpit fridge up here, tucked away under the helm seat. That's pretty nifty. Okay, let's go and find these engines. And they're underneath here, so I'll move my bag out of the way. What we need to do to access these is lift that one there out. That just unpops. That one goes forward. I'm going to move this one because this isn't clipped down. Normally these are clipped down, but they've just put them in place for me to show the boat. And then there's a button on this side. We hit hatch up. Away it goes. So what we have here are a pair of Volvo Penta D4 225 horsepower engines. They're giving the boat just over 30 knots, but cruising really in the mid-20s, which is a very nice cruising speed for this size and style of boat. And the range where you're looking probably about 300 miles at a fast cruise. Obviously, if you drop the speed right back to the displacement speeds, you'll get a lot more. But compact engine room, but very get-at-able, because of course with this hatch up you can get in and over it, so you can get to things like the raw water strainers and the dipsticks, fuel filters, that kind of thing. That's all pretty accessible right the way across. And the battery banks are over there as well, again where you can get to them. Excellent. So that is about the size of it. Let's go and sit at this helm and finish off by saying thank you to Approved Boats in Southampton who had this one for sale. They've invited me up to see it, so very grateful to them, and thank you of course for watching. Hope you've enjoyed that one. Do give it a thumbs up if you have, and let me know what you think of it in the comments, and we will look forward to catching you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.